Today is the 28th of February 2023. It's officially the last day of February if it's not a leap year. By tomorrow, we will say Happy New Month. Hi, my name is Omar and this is the child in me. This is going to be the last episode of the love segment on this podcast. We've been speaking about love since the beginning of February and we're about to bring it to an end. With the summary of everything we've been saying and what our guest, Ms. Aisha Jimo, have also said, I hope you're able to learn one or two things, to grasp one or two things, to be able to imitate or try to put that also in your daily lives. Let me put it that way. We know love is an extensive topic. I can't stress that enough. And we can't finish discussing it. But the few points we have raised on this podcast, I'm sure it should be a starting point for somebody who has looked at themselves one way and not really think they should care for themselves, or think that caring for themselves is being selfish, or caring for themselves means others will not be fine. This should be a starting point. And as you start with this, going ahead or going forward, you realize that every other thing will come easily. I can also help but notice that the Nigerian election is going on and the result collation is also ongoing for the presidential election, which is putting a lot of pressure on everyone, both on social media, home and abroad. And I am also sharing part of that pressure. But what I have tried to do as self-love for that is to stay calm, just close my eyes and create a private space for myself in my mind where I find my inner peace. In that private space, it feels so empty. And there is a door that leads to that place. So once I get into that place, I shut the door on everything that's about to give me high blood pressure, or about to tension me, or anything that's giving me unnecessary anxiety. I shut the door on them and I go into that private space and stay there for as long as I can in my mind. Everyone can do that as well, because I see the pressure is too much, like I said, and I can feel it all the way to this place in South Africa where I am, and I can imagine what people will really be feeling, those that are in Nigeria. That aside about presidential election in Nigeria, whoever wins, we pray God directs them to lift Nigeria to greater heights. Still speaking about self-love and the summary of everything we've been saying all this while, I hope and I pray and I really wish to see everyone taking care of themselves irrespective of what they're going through. I know it's difficult and words are easier to say, like they say, easier said than done. But we can start somewhere with the little things. A friend of mine sent me a chat after listening to this love podcast, and she was like, do you like spas? And I'm like, spas? What do you mean by spas? Oh, spas. Like where you get the massage and everything. That she has cultivated the habit to at least get a massage like once in a month. That's a huge step, I'm telling you, for you to think like out of everything in this world, out of all the pressure, going through all the hard times, hardship, the stress of work, family, children and everything, you still find time to go for a massage. It's a big deal, and I love that she's taking that step. I've shared a lot of self-love tips on this podcast. You can go and listen to everything from February, and I shared those low budget self-love, those ones you don't even have to spend a penny to show yourself that you love yourself. Let me put it that way. So go and listen to all the episodes from this February and you will get that part where I said it's low budget self-love, and then you will see that you don't have to own all the money in the world or all the luxury to be able to love on yourself. I appreciate everyone for listening to this podcast. I do not take you for granted. Thank you so much for listening to this. It means a lot to me. You can also share this podcast. There's a link to it. When you press the 3 dots up there, it gives you a share option. You can share it to your groups, on your social media. You can share it on your status. Allow some other people to enjoy what you have enjoyed on this podcast. And I'll appreciate it also. Thank you so much. I do not take you for granted, like I've said. I love you all. And we'll meet again on this podcast next month, which is March, on another topic, a very interesting one, because right now we are going deeper and deeper into our childhood memories. I remain your humble host, Omar, and this is The Child in Me.